Hello everyone, Mario the Pie Man here for some more Star Trek Online. Now we're rejoining Mittens with the Deriri arc. Now for those who came in late, this is an optional arc, you don't have to play through this, but I like it and actually I think you should. So far, for those who came in late, the Deriri, a race who prize balance and neutrality, kind of like the neutrals from Futurama, have asked us to come and help them. It turns out they're being harassed by the Breen, so we've agreed to kind of help them out. So we're responding to a distress call, so that's the plot in this one. All of the things have cold puns. I will maybe try to throw a few in myself, but mine will be worse, I can guarantee that. Okay, Thorax up, saying, "Sir, we're receiving an emergency distress signal from the Deriri freighter Sabok. I'm patching it through to the main view screen now." And so the freighter captain saying, "To all ships in range, this is the Deriri freighter Sabok. We are under attack and require immediate assistance. We have no weapon aboard and our shears are failing. Anyone who can hear this, please help." And Kajan's come in. "It must be one of the Breen raiding parties in the area, sir. If we hurry, we may be able to intercept them before they finish off the freighter and leave this area. Another opportunity for glory and a chance to show the Deriri the might of the Empire." Okay, well, let's go for this. Nice touch here. I do like this setting of the comet fragments. I don't know if we're actually meant to be at warp. It does have a bit of an appearance of that, but either way, kind of these floating comet fragments that we're kind of in. Oh, and there's some Breen frigates. But yeah, it's quite a scene. The don't do this as often nowadays of trying to make so. Yeah, they have done a few, but I wish they did a few more sort of interesting places to fight. Because, like I say, I think it does add to it. So we've got 3 Breen frigates. But our fighters are doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. Which is good because this ship that I've got at the moment, the IKS Moggy, is quite a slow one, being a sort of big cruiser carrier kind of thing. It doesn't corner well. Not helped by the fact that these frigates have a habit of tractoring you, the upshot being that I'm not really manoeuvring much anyway. Only downside of this layout, I suppose, is the Sabok is quite hard to find at times. So the captain's back. "Thank you for saving us. Our sister ship, the Pack 2, was waylaid by Breen raiders at her scheduled rendezvous point. We made a micro-warp jump as soon as the Breen arrived and used the magnetic field of the comet to hide our signature, but they have better sensors than we do. They found us. If you hadn't come along when you did, we'd have been obliterated. I'm worried about the Breen being at our next stop, so I'm going to try and get there ahead of schedule and be gone before they arrive. If you could find the Pack 2, there were dozens of people aboard that ship." Okay. And just as luck would have it, I'm getting a distress call from the Pack 2. Captain says, "We've escaped from a Breen slaver attack and antimatter containment units and warp coils are non-functional. We need some replacement parts immediately. We're on the edge of a warp core breach. Is there any ship in range? We need help." Well, that's lucky. Oh, and they're nearby, so that's been lucky for everyone, really. So, fly through more of this comet debris. I suppose the idea is both everyone thought this was a good idea as a place to hide, which does sort of make sense. There she is, in the comet wreckage. And we'll beam them some spare parts. Oh, Kajan's on. There's some Breen ships inbound at Warp 7. 2 waves from the look of it. The first should be on top of us in a few seconds, so we've now got to defend them. Oh, Breen cruiser. I don't know where my fighters ended up. Hopefully they're catching. Oh, there they are. No. doing a lot of the heavy lifting for me. Although obviously my forward shields are taking a bit of a pounding here. But we will keep manoeuvring around him. I'm trying to keep, we've got a couple of down shields on him, so I will try to keep my ship facing him, particularly while we're not manoeuvring. Oh, he's managed to pull his safe forward sheer that way, but he is surrounded by my fighters, so I've got all shields down as well. But that's the first one down. And we should have the next wave coming in. I think it's usually a bigger ship on this one. Oh yeah, there it is, a Sarthen warship. I keep forgetting to cloak before going into battle, because I do get a thing for that. Oh, he's sent out his transphobic cluster torpedo. Fires 100 JK rollings at you, it's terrible. A weapon that's banned by most sane people. I'm kidding, you actually get that, it's quite a neat one. I have a soft spot for the cluster torpedoes that pop up in this. These pop out a little supply of mines. They're not always the most effective, but you can have a bit of fun with them. Oh, one of my fighters was down. Let's launch another. There is a type which launches fighters itself, and you can basically have little fighter duels going on around you, which is quite fun when you've got hangar pets. What did he drop? Oh, new warp core. We need a new warp core. They needed a new warp core. So the captain of the Plaque 2 is coming again. He said, "Thanks for your fortunate assist, we should be fine. I want to catch up with our sister ship, the Sabok. They fled at first sight. We heard some slavers attacked us talking about the Zarya system. If you want to take care of the Breen message, you might want to start looking for them there." Okay, well, Chagrin thinks we should set a course. Appears to be nothing more than a broken planetoid, but we'll find something Deriri missed. So, we're off out of this interesting backdrop. And this is, again, not many missions do this now, is make you fly to the next location. Because you could technically go through this thinking, oh, the mission's finished now, but it's not. We've got another bit of mission, we've just got to fly there. Which is, it was a wee curiosity. I suppose if they were ever to remaster these, they'd probably take this out and just warp you straight there. Which definitely makes life a bit easier. So, Chagrin, sir, that destroyed planet is a dilithium-rich core. It looks like the Breen have set up a mine inside the remains of the planetoid, and true to form they're using all the captured Deriri as slave labour. We have to defeat the Breen picket squadrons before we can beam down to the mine. Looks like there's only a small force. Okay, so this mission now, I will see how successful I am at it. But what you basically have, if I remember this one, it's been a while, you have 2 squadrons of frigates and 2 cruisers, and the trick is, because they kind of patrol, the trick is to get them one at a time, because you can see there's a Chelgret warship just popped up on my sensors, but we have a cruiser there as well. Don't know what the difference, why they're both called Chelgret, one's a cruiser, one's a warship, but there you go, but you can see other things flickering. I know it's more of a rendering issue, but I do quite like things flickering in and out of your sensors. It gives a good impression of something popping up in your sensors. Oh, they're using their energy siphon. When the Breen appeared in the episode The Changing Face of Evil, I think it was, they had this energy siphon weapon that drained the power of all the ships, and they kind of kept that in as a reference. You know, there was a way discovered around it in Deep Space Nine, but I like the fact that they have given them this as kind of a feature. I mean, there's a power you can get yourself. You know, I'm bad at using all my inherent abilities at the best of times, so left in my storage if I remember. I'll stop picking stuff up. Or I'll have to do one of those jump cuts where I stop and kind of redo my inventory. So that's one of the squadrons down. So yeah, there's some frigates. Now what I don't want to do is encounter these two at the same time, so I'm actually going to head for this frigate group here. Because what I don't want to do is kite this lot in, because you could end up with all of the enemies on you, which will make your life a little bit difficult. Battle cloak actually. Let's attack from cloak. You do actually get a bonus attacking from cloak, I just keep forgetting to do it. There's a whole class of ships called a raider which actually does, you get an advantage when you attack from cloaked, and it's really worth doing if you remember to do it, which I frequently don't. Just keeping an eye on that cruiser's distance. Two of his contractor. There, this is where this has got us. It's grown up. Yeah, where you can get yourself into difficulty, particularly if you've got a flimsier ship, is if you... I'll say inventory fill, yeah. If you've got a flimsier ship, if you go into these and get kind of ganked by all the ships that are here. It's quite easy, as you can see, that something's cross over. Yes, but I'm Klingons, I don't like attacking from this side. I'm technically a Pharasian, so actually I can do what I like. And then our last group of frigates. I'm just going to do a quick bit of inventory management because one of those items was green. Adequate engineering console, I suppose. Not really anything worth. Apologise for the bit of inventory management while I close distance. Cloak as well. There, cleared out a bit of space. Oh, nearly flew into the planetoid. Fighters took a bit of a beating there because I waited for a little bit longer to decloak, but I got an award for defeating Breen. Cold, you stop firing at me? There's your cold pun for the day. I might do more. Quite a nice little model they built here. It's just parts, but they're... So Jacan's back on saying that's the last of the scout squadron, sir. Unfortunately, can't just beam up the Deriri. They breed with some sort of transporter disruptor field. We need to get down there and disable it before we can rescue the labourers. Well, let's beam down then. So Thrax here saying the Breen are using disrupted fields to interfere with the transporters key to Deriri biology. We should be able to beam in and out safely, as will the Breen. However, we must disable these inhibitors before we can beam out the Deriri. Once we've killed the Breen guards, there should be nobody left to re-enable the disruptors. So, effectively making the excuse why we can beam in and out when there's an alleged transporter disruptor. So, let's inspect these cells. Thorax says they're tied into the transporter inhibitors. Shutting down the inhibitors should allow us to rescue the Deriri. He's also reading additional life size and other ones based on preliminary readings are all connected to the same mechanism. So we've not bothered to render more people, but they are there, and you just have to fight the Breen and deal with the ones on this level. Right, let's go fight some Breen then. Quite fun going into this. As a Klingon recruit, you can slowly build up more bonuses for close quarters. Actually makes using the bat'leth quite worthwhile. So that's the first group of Breen slave master. We've got 8 of them to go, and that's all this level is really running through here, fighting Breen and pressing buttons. Now, it's one of the things I will criticise the way the Breen were kind of brought in this. The Breen have cold suits in Trek, but they don't base their whole kind of thing on being cold. It's merely that they operate in a low temperature and kind of a suit to deal with, and that's kind of, you know, they kind of made this a thing. No, we're theming all their attacks on cold. They fire ice at you. And it's, you know, if I'm getting into Trek, that's very much a video game logic coming in there. I don't think I want a Danian spice pudding. Why was that Breen carrying a Danian spice pudding?
Enemy targets on sensor. Flanking damage detected. Personal shield losing power.
Guy keeps hurling ice grenades at me, and I wish he would stop. Because I keep freezing in an ice cube. They're actually pretty powerful, those ice grenades. They're worth watching out for. They will mess you up a lot. I think that's everyone. So we've got our first thing to deactivate here. Then I reckon there'll be more Breen around this corridor. Again, this is almost like the cave set, but you know, in video game. I've never said this cat has claws. Or ice to meet you. To meet you, ice. Could you refreeze that? I'm running out of puns here. Cold you refreeze that maybe? This is to hopefully distract you from throwing grenades at me by just repeatedly walloping them in the head with a bat'leth. Yeah. So again, like I say, this part's not particularly exciting. They still do this. They've got different. It's kind of funny. You could all start writing on different ways Star Trek Online pads out missions with combat, including our glorious. Oh no, wait, there's actually a Breen. I'm going to say our glorious fight against a health turret. This is 5 out of 8 of the slave groups. Here's number 6. Oh, well, this guy's sensible that he's run around this corner, but I think he's going, hey! I'm the one doing close combat. You're keeping running away from me to try and shoot me. So yeah. Ooh, I've lost tactician. So, was there a thingy here? Yes, there was. The risk of this one is sometimes you get distracted by that second battle and you miss this transport inhibitor. So here is group number 7.
Enemy targets on sensor. Personal shield losing power. Enemy combatants in close proximity.
Got stuck in a wall there. Yep, turned into an ice cube. Oi. What I quite like in this is a nice little touch. Stuck to the wall there, we've seen these mining rigs before. But I think when we were looking at them it was during the Romulan campaign and you didn't actually see one running, so it's quite nice to see them sitting there actually doing their thing. Oh, there's some trionium gas, might as well nab it while I'm here. I don't always stop for stuff because frankly you don't need to see me picking these things up, but every so often. So that's the transporter inhibitor done. So now we just have to head back. One more group of slave masters to fight. Here they are. And then we've got a boss fight to come. But you know, when I say boss fight, it's just like a slightly more. It's not like a big boss. You know, slightly more powerful Breen. Guy with a name is probably about the best way to describe him.
Enemy targets on
It's
sensor.
an annoyance sometimes with the hand-to-hand. It sometimes glitches out like that. Particularly the bat left was bad for it. Here's the last thing. Disable the force field. Because we've got to confirm that the Deriri are gone. So Jakan said that's all disruptors and guards, sir. I'm picking up new contacts aboard the station. We may have aroused the curiosity of the Breen commander. We should make sure the Deriri are beamed away safely. That's what we're off to do. Yep, sure enough. If we inspect the cells again, we have confirmation they have transported safely. We're clear to return. Now that's voice for a Breen. That's Thought Trail. You are the one known as Floofed. Mittens, I think you'll find. I was expecting someone more impressive. Yeah, well. After all, Thought Wen was one of my most reliable veterans. Defeating him must have pushed you to your limits. It really didn't. I'd like to say I'm looking forward to meeting you in person, but because I expect that Thought Gren to end your life here, I'm afraid that won't be possible. You've been interesting, but ultimately insignificant. Farewell. Oh, he's monologuing. Oh, so yeah, someone's appeared. Who's this? Well, this is Thought Gren. Fair enough.
Spiking damage detected.
You can do that face turret thing.
Enemy targets on sensor. Personal shield losing power.
Stand still so I may hack you to bits of the bat left. Uh-oh. He's made a frosty thing appear. Nope. Yeah, you gotta watch for those. I think I might try calling for help. See if someone will help me up. Nope, I think... well, no. Jakan came through, but... we're all standing in the frost.
Enemy targets on sensor. Personal shield losing
Yeah.
power.
Quick respawn. Oop, and I collapsed just as I respawned. Where's Thought Gran? There you are. Now, I think close combat is probably not working on this guy, because I think every time I get into that cold field, it damages me, so I am switching to guns.
Personal shield losing power.
I'm doing my distance stuff. And yes, you can see this is going a lot better now. So Jakan's saying, now that the officer in charge has been dealt with, the entire operation's fall apart. But who sent that message? Thought Trail? Could he be behind the problems the Deriri are having? If that's the case, we must find the cowardly dog and destroy him. Command should be able to send patrols to ensure the Breen don't set up shop here again. Perhaps we'll be able to convince the Deriri to surrender the lights to dilithium mining to the Empire. You can leave when you're ready. So, that's that mission nicely dealt with. I'm just going to wait for the mission to check in. So Sura's back. The survivors are on their way home. We'll be sending an expedition out to assess the viability of operating the mines ourselves. I think we'd wise to consider a joint operation with your government. The resources in the Zarya system are rare. Best way to maintain the balance is to share them with you. Thanks for all your assistance. So, next mission is Cold Comfort. Cold Comfort is receiving our distress signal in the Rave system. A Deriri transport weathered a Breen attack. They're taking casualties and requesting assistance. My people do not have military ships. I will loathe to send lightly armoured resource vessel into such a dangerous situation, so can you help? Yes, I can. So that's what we're going to be dealing with next time. So once again, I will say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're enjoying the run through the Deriri campaign. As always, I have plenty more stuff on the channel, loads of Star Trek Online, and games like Wing Commander 3, Myst, all there for you to explore, so please do explore our things on the channel. Again, if you want to see more and you want to be alerted when the next part of this comes out, please like and subscribe, it's always welcome. And if you want to talk to me, you can either leave it in the comments or talk to me on Blue Sky or Mastodon, both Pieman70, the Mastodon is Mastodon's social. But the comments is probably one of the easiest ways. And so all I'll say again is, once again, many thanks for watching the video. I do hope you got some enjoyment out of it, and I hope you'll join me for the next one. But until then, bye for now.